What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Moon Karts content today. So Moon Karts, built on Arcade Colony, we're going to do a deep dive into this ecosystem and this upcoming play-to-earn kart racing game. So the white paper is officially out. I don't know if it's like an unfinal version or like a draft version, but here we have it. We're going to go through it. So let's see where we're at. And I'm recording this, early February. So obviously the game, I think the team is hoping to get out in the next 2 to 3 months. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of things that they continue to add to it over time. But we'll just start here. So, game overview, exciting blend. I'm not going to read the entire thing to you, but you can see the unique features. They have a play to earn model that they have set up. There's upgradable drivers and cars, dynamic racing experience, community collaboration. So all fun things. Let's go ahead to the gameplay mechanics. And I think what people really want to know more about is going to be the economy and rewards. So, here's the thing. I don't want to end up making this into 2 separate videos, so we'll cover gameplay mechanics, although I'm sure in the future, once stuff is actually available, we can see it and, pack openings and all that, we'll do deeper dives into each of the aspects when it comes to gameplay, just because I'm excited about it. So let's see. It's gameplay mechanics. We're going to go through all these different sections. So racing, let's see. Each race is a vibrant 2-minute battle for supremacy where the top 50% of racers are deemed winners. There's a lot of participation trophies out there, but that's fine. But it's totally fine though, because we get to a point where I think it's only 6 players are allowed to play. So it's 4 to 6 players. So really, like, in order to get any kind of rewards, you don't need to be the top winner. You could just be within the top half. So performance factors, let's see, you have health, speed, handling, and acceleration. So these are the 4 metrics in which you can kind of design your kart, or we'll just call it your avatar in game. And I mean that just because your kart is only a piece of it. So there's a couple modes. There's practice mode. You can just do some custom testing, time trials, track selection. But multiplayer mode is where I believe you can do all of the earning. So there's matchmaking, where it pairs you with people who are similar skills and ranks, and then leaderboards and rankings. So multiplayer racing experience duration, races are brisk. Each race is only 4 to 6 players. Winning is achieved by getting into the top 50. So if there's 5 people and you get 3rd place, you're part of that. They round up. And then during the race, you can collect colony tokens and orbitals directly on the track. These pickups contribute to the player's overall earnings and rankings, but you need to finish as a winner, meaning you need to be in the top 50%. And then power-ups, you can use power-ups such as the Moonfire Missile, adds layer of depth. Again, think Mario Kart, right? And then fuel, every time you participate in a multiplayer race, you consume fuel. We're going to get more into that in the future, because that is a fascinating thing that I don't know if they have it fully thought through yet, but it could be a huge part of this ecosystem. All right, so karts and parts. Let's see. There's a couple of different kinds. Primary kart is the Astro Kart. Let's see. Hold on. Okay. So your primary kart, you have 2 options. There's the Astral Kart, Astral Kart, as well as the Lunar Kart. And so what this is going to do is allow you to have different, handling, top speed, handling, health, and acceleration, right? And again, I don't want to go through all of these just because the numbers are just so slightly different, but you can upgrade them, right? So there's lunar karts and astral karts. You can see here, so this is the top speed of 90%, right? So the first lunar kart takes delivering a thrilling combination of speed and precision. So it's got 90% at top speed versus the astral kart, which is only 80%. But then the handling of the astral kart is 70%, right? Whereas the handling here is 85%. So again, it's just going to be slight differences. And then of course you can upgrade as you go along for both the astral and the lunar karts. There's also tech parts, so you'll be able to do engine tech upgrades. And again, these are all going to be separate NFTs that'll be openable in packs. So you have, common, rare, epic, and legendary. There's different tires that you can do at all the different rarities as well. Body kits that you can, get at different rarities, and then gearbox tech upgrades. So all of those things, pretty cool. For example, your epic gear will significantly enhance your acceleration of equipped vehicle by 15%, right? Side effect is that it slightly reduces the top speed of the vehicle by 2%. But your rare, what was it? Rare. Oh, legendary, for example, is going to increase your acceleration by 25%, slightly reduces handling by 5%. So it's going to be fun to kind of watch how all this stuff is. And I hope there's like a nice dynamic screen where you can see, ooh, if I like upgrade this, what happens? And if I do this, what happens? Again, we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But it's going to be so customizable, yet at the same time, all this stuff is probably going to be like within the same range, which to me is perfect because you can like tweak as much as you want from a custom perspective. But at the end of the day, it's going to be like, all right, if your top speed is 90%, but someone else's is like 87%, that's not that big of a difference. What makes more of a difference is how you handle the turn, right? How you handle the turn or accelerate out of whatever. And that comes down to like skill actually playing in the game, which is exciting. There's also there's also accessories in Moon Karts. So you can get antennas, wheels, exhaust pipes, and balancing customization. So yeah, all that stuff, really, really cool. Then they have drivers, and this is going to be in the same kind of way, right? So again, I'm not going to do a deep dive into each of the different drivers. They all have their own pluses and minuses. So for example, right, Blaze is that top one. I think there's 8 drivers. Yes. Yeah, eight drivers. So you can see here, Blaze has a 3% boost on speed, 2% boost on handling, 2% boost on health, minus 1% on acceleration. And every different driver is going to be, somewhere within that range. Again, this is just a plus or minus of like, -1 to 3% or whatever that is. And again, I don't think it's going to impact much, but if you like different types of styles, that is probably going to be what drives it in the future. Again, you can tweak as much as you want, but there's power-ups. And so let's just jump down here. Lunar Glide. So this allows players to strategically deploy a slippery hazard. Think of this as like a banana peel from Mario Kart. Celestial Thrust. Think of this as a mushroom in Mario Kart. Moonfire Missile would probably be like a red or green shell, because I don't know when activated. Oh, players can lock onto a target. So it's a red shell. Cosmic Disruptor emits a powerful electromagnetic pulse that temporarily disables nearby opponents' carts. I don't know what this thing is called in Mario Kart, but again, there's something similar there. Lunar Bolt power up summons a bolt of lightning that targets and strikes a specific opponent's cart, temporarily disabling it. And then Lunar Barrier, which is kind of like a shield. Okay, so card rarities and merging. All playable assets in the game will be generated from cards. Every card in the game has 4 rarities outlined below. So you can see common, rare, epic, and legendary. You'll be able to merge your cards. And again, I don't think they have everything finalized. They did mention like commons will be like 400 cards. Legendaries, I think they said 50, which is kind of crazy because Splinterlands is like 11 for legendary cards. So a significant difference there. And then there will also be gold foil cards, which will probably have different merging stats, but will give you bonuses as well. So the reward bonus from gold foil cards is stacked. And if this is similar to Splinterlands, then each card that you use that is gold foil will end up giving you like a 10% bonus in your rewards. Presets. This is going to be something cool. So it just streamlines the process. You'll be able to make multiple presets of which racers you want, and I believe the tracks are going to offer different kinds of challenges for you. So it'll make sense to create multiple presets because it's like, okay, what track am I going to be on? What are the challenges there? And which cart that I have would be the best one, or which preset customized optimizations will make the most sense for me to use on said track. And then finally, the Auto Vault and Academy. You'll see here, this is the interesting part. Card staking for fuel generation. Players can stake their cards in the Auto Vault to passively generate fuel. The amount of fuel generated depends on the rarity and type of card staked, with higher rarity cards contributing to faster generation. Each card's individual fuel generation rate is summed up to determine the overall fuel generation rate, encouraging players to strategically select cards for optimal fuel accumulation. So mechanics and strategy of the Auto Vault: minimum staking time and cooldown. Cards must be staked for a minimum duration to generate fuel. The fuel generation formula is going to be based on the combined rates of all cards. And then there will also be a script requirement. So in order to generate fuel, players must also stake at least 10 script tokens. So that's about $10 if it is holding its 1-to-1 US dollar value. But scripts are the stable coin. The Auto Vault requires 10 additional scripts for every additional card slot that a player can stake at any given time. So this is an interesting thing here that will give a lot of immediate utility to script, where you need to put the script down in order to stake a card. So think of this almost like land, right? Land from Splinterlands, where you need 10 script to stake a card, and that card is going to generate fuel, and that fuel is what you need in order to play races. Fuel is a critical resource needed to participate in multiplayer races. Fuel cannot be tradable or transferred. Players have a fuel storage capacity, so anything beyond that is lost, and this system urges players to actively use and manage their fuel reserves to avoid waste. Upgrading cards enhances their fuel generation. Now, here's the thing. Better cards and moon cards consume more fuel per race. The fuel consumed in any given race is determined by the type rarity. Now, here's the interesting thing. I don't know. I didn't read it anywhere here. If I missed it, please do let me know. But I don't believe the cart that you use, the cards that you're actively using, are going to generate the fuel. I mean, maybe they will. So everything will go towards it. But then I don't know what that looks like if you have like just a basic cart. Does that mean you'll be able to play less games versus if you just go and stake a bunch of cards that you're not even using? And that's kind of what I want to get at here. Is this going to encourage people to buy a bunch of extra things in order to generate extra fuel so that they play with their top car as much as possible? That's kind of where my head is going, but it's an interesting concept. How it all gets played out will be interesting to see. But let's finish up with the Academy here. Coming soon in Moon Carts is the Academy, a dashboard similar to the Auto Vault, in which you can stake your cards to earn airdrop points. Over time, players will periodically receive airdrops of various types of cards like Driver's Boost. So think of this as like the ongoing conflicts, for example, with Splinterlands. Okay, so economy and rewards. And I believe this is just one page here, so we'll go ahead and wrap up. So Moon Carts earning overview, there is a reward system that pays out colony tokens. All right, so for Moon Carts, we're distributing a fixed supply of tokens each day. Keep in mind, it's going to be 50 million tokens per year over 5 years. So the colony reward tokens will be distributed as follows. 40% is distributed to the orbitals pools, and we'll get into that in a second. 25% is distributed to the ranking pool. 10% is allotted to just tokens that are found directly on the track. 5% to the referral pool, and then 20% to the seasonal pool. So seasonal pool, the season lasts only 10 days. So for people used to like 15-day seasons, this is significantly shorter. We should be getting about 3 of them per month. This pool garners its potency from a daily allocation of 20%. Players earn their share of this pool based on their performance and positioning in the game's leaderboards, with the system taking precise snapshots of these rankings at the end of each cycle. The methodology ensures a fair and proportional distribution. The seasonal rewards thus offers a distinct avenue for players to maximize their earnings, differentiating itself from a daily rewards by focusing on like your longer term performance and consistency. So showing up regularly, using your fuel, and managing it appropriately, and just rising the ranks as much as you can. So it sounds like this is just gonna be like a massive leaderboard, which will pay out, and based on where you're at, that's 20% of the overall pool. Now, earning through racing, there's 3 separate ways. So you can pick up colony directly on the track, and if you win, meaning you're in the top 50%, you will keep those tokens in your inventory. If you lose the tokens before finishing, somebody like hits you or whatever, or you lose the race, then you don't earn them. Now, by participating, you also get a skill-based ELO ranking. This skill-based ranking has a daily and seasonal leaderboard that rewards players, so you'll be able to earn based on those leaderboards. And then also, we talked about the orbitals, which is 40% of the pool. By collecting orbitals on the racetrack, winning a race, and finishing with them, you earn orbitals. These orbitals are a separate point system with their own daily and seasonal leaderboard, which distributes colony. So this is like a separate thing from actually finding the tokens. You can find orbitals and you can find colony. Players get a multiplier on the number of orbitals they can earn each race depending on the cards used in the race. So in other words, if you have a great cart, great driver, great parts, you stand to earn more orbitals. But the whole idea is that you can earn these orbitals by playing on the tracks, and then that puts you in a completely separate leaderboard for orbitals, but that pays out 40% of the tokens in the colony reward pool. Now, this is really cool for any of the content creators out there. In Moon Carts, there is going to be a referral program, meaning that if you invite someone to the game and they spend $20 or more in the store, then you get 1 point in the referral pool. And for every $20 they spend, you get an additional point in the referral pool. And what that does, right, it's like 5%. I believe at the end of the day, it pays you out. So if you're bringing people into the game who have spent money and continue to spend money, you're just going to get a small drip from that over time, which I think is really cool. So I plan on playing this game. I'll be putting out a referral code at some point. If you guys feel like the channel is giving you value, then I would appreciate if you use that referral code, but you don't have to. I just think that this is a cool program overall that helps to helps to incentivize content creators to bring in new players. Not to mention, I think the game is super fun and will hopefully have that opportunity. Now, there's a cap on this, so no individual account can receive over 0.5%, but we'll get into more more of that later. And then finally, there's going to be the moon domes, in which you'll be able to earn from, having what's essentially like land, right? A stadium or something. And that's going to distribute 10% of the tokens at some point in the future. But we'll go ahead and keep that for another day. So pretty cool stuff here. There's a lot to go through, but if you can't tell, I'm very excited for Arcade Colony, and specifically Moon Cards launching on Arcade Colony, just because there's going to be a lot to it. I think the game's going to be fun. It's going to be very social, and ultimately, if it's well designed, which so far, it's got an interesting design. I can't say if it's good or not, but it's got an interesting design that seems to shore up some things that we've seen that have not worked in the past. I'm really hopeful that this could just be a fun place and a fun ecosystem where people don't necessarily come in looking to make tons of money, but it's just like, hey, if I can come play with friends, play with community, have fun, and have a good time, and then earn some ice cream money through it, I think you can get a ton of people through that. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. That is all I have for you guys in this video. Otherwise, I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.